Hello, I'm Mike Johnson. I'm here. I'm president of Bundaberg Landcare. We're here in Queen's Park, near Bundaberg on the Burnett River, and we're doing a bit of a story today on what we're trying to do with Queen's Park. Is there's some very old heritage trees that have been here before white man settled, and we've had lots of problems with them being damaged and poisoned and that by council's practices. Now we've actually sent recommendations to council several, probably be a month ago now, month and a half. And we've also followed that up with, are these recommendations going to be taken up? So we just thought we'd drop down today. We're actually dropped down for another story with the News Mail, but and as soon as we come across here, we've noticed this straight away. Now this is one of the main problems in Queen's Park, and this was on our recommendations about not doing this. Now what happens here, I think this is a very old tuckaroo, keep down the oak here. Now, it's been cut once, okay, it might have been rotten, but what we're trying to say is there's no succession plantings. Now that tree, that is very huge for a tuckaroo. I don't know how high that was. That could be several hundred years old. So now what it's doing is it's doing all its regrowth, you know, and suckers, and you'll also see them all here coming up from the roots. Now this is what happens when a tree is basically fighting back, trying to live. Now what we want them to do is put big gardens, because we'll show you the gardens which they've done here around these to protect them. But the trouble is, this is what's happening, this poison. Why would you have to poison so much that you actually half poison the tree? There's all stuff dead over the back. Now this is in the recommendations to stop using Roundup and to stop killing the suckers that come up. This should be all in a big garden, and we might pan out later and you'll see that cars come in here and rip up the grass and everything. Well, there needs to be barriers put up by the looks, because it's just not stopping. But this is the sort of practice which we are fighting against, and we're actually recommending we want to start a Friends of Queen's Park up. We're going to get the signage made, and we've put that to council as well in the latest paper we've sent to them, just saying okay, and I will actually be heading that Friends of Queen's Park, because we want to do a lot of revegetation. Because since the flood there has been a lot of trees, a lot of the old trees are dying, so we want to stop that. They got disease in them, they're getting to the end of their life, and we've always got to stop these bad practices like this. So we're going to walk around and look at some of the big trees, and also point out some more of the problems in the... Righto, we're here at Queen's Park, and like I say, we're going around some of the trees and that here and showing you the problems that have been in the past and which still seem to be occurring, and hopefully we're going to get to the bottom of this and fix these problems with council. So here we've got a Birdy and plum tree, and that must be hundreds of years old. You know, when they get their bark gets rough, they're very old, because usually they're smooth. And this would have been, of course, all remnant forest once. What you're walking among at Queen's Park, these trees were here before white man existed. They can be anything from 200 to 500 to 700 years old. We don't know. It's only a new country. But like we say, sadly, things have been treated badly. The flood has come through here, but just look at this sort of thing. Rot straight in. This one here, rotten as well. But this is where roots have been hit with slashes. And again, poison has been put round. Generally Roundup, I don't know whether it's a Roundup wood combination, but generally they don't use, we're trying to get pelargonic acid to be used. We've put that in our recommendations, which is fairly benign and safe. But as yet it looks like they're still using. We've got a little whalebone tree here. Now this for some reason has been all cut back. I don't know why, but anyway, that's reshooting. But this is an example of some of the problems now. We realise that some of these trees are dying, but we realise that there's also a lot of things that have been done to harm them and could be improved, and we've got to do it now. And we've got to get a succession plan in. It's no use getting rid of 400-year-old trees and leaving the grass here. We've got to have a tree to get in there and get that tree growing. So it's called succession planting. Everybody knows about it. It's used in all the best botanic gardens and everything. We need it here. So we'll go and look at some more trees around the place, give you some more examples. Thank you. Righto, we're still here at Bundaberg Landcare. We're here at Queen's Park again today. Again, showing you some of the practices and why we need big gardens to get all these trees in. The ones we've just filmed, they're only, you know, 5 metres apart. This should be a big garden. When plants sucker like this, it means they're stressed. They may be going to die. Like I said, we know this has had big hits on it. It's been hit with, the roots have been hit with slashes. This is another thing, we don't want slashes running over the roots of these mature trees. We know it's got rot round the other side. Not quite sure on the species this, it might be a kugara, but we know it's got borers in the other side and it's got bark missing as well, and they get sunburnt. And you know, because these trees are generally have grown up in a thick vine forest. And now as everything gets cleared and all the other trees get cleared, they get too much heat on their bark. They usually grow straight up to the canopy. These have all been taken away, so what you've got is bareness. If these trees were grown out in a paddock now, they would be a big low canopy. But when they're tall like this, you know they've been part of a rainforest because they grow up tall. That's how you can tell. But again, this tree's in trouble. We need to let those suckers come through, and we need succession planting. Let's go and look at some more. Yeah, hello, Mike Johnson. I'm at Queen's Park doing our walk around at the heritage trees here. Like I say, the trees we've just looked at are no further than 10 metres apart from where we are. So it's one after another. And sadly, here we are again. Someone's done the roundup on the suckers coming up. They'll give these a touch up. This at some stage has been cut, but broken. It's been sideswiped by equipment or something by the looks. Again, this is this unnecessary getting close to trees, running over the roots. And when we talk about getting close, just look at this. This is here from the guys from Natural Areas put these signs up. So this one's the Vitex. Well, that's the sign. Well, this wasn't laying on top of it, it was over there. Now, that ain't kicked off by kids, that's a slasher. These things cost money, mate. Like, I mean, there's no need to get so bloody close to things. Just whip a snip around, fill all these up with gardens and join them up. That's just shocking, that. It's not on. Let's go and have a look over at this natural area we want to do. Yeah, Mike Johnson with Queen's Park on our walk around again. We're down basically up river from the other side. What we're looking across here is this is where the flood come through. It cuts the corner of the Burnett River and it comes straight through Queen's Park. You'll see the big indentation. There's one behind us as well. It cuts straight across, goes through and mows everything out. The trouble is what we want to do in these areas, okay, we've got to be careful when we revegetate them, but these should be all natural areas. What we want to do is when we do plant, we've got to be careful. It's no use putting rare trees, obviously, where the main flood's going to come. If it comes, who knows when it comes. But what we're saying is you look up there on the hill, and this is where we believe it's been really wasteful. Look at all the Roundup and spray up there on that area. What is that for? And what the hell is the use of having all this mowed area? This should be natural revegetation area, and this is what Landcare want to do with our friends at Queen's Park. We want to put in tens of thousands of trees in these areas. Save the ratepayer all this money of mindless mowing, use of herbicides for no bloody reason. For example, that big tuckaroo over there, that's as big as you'll see. That thing could be 400 years old, getting the guts flogged out of it again. You know, just look around the base of it there. What we want to do is do plantings, stop poisoning up in there and let all the natural regrowth come up. And we've got a home for birds and wildlife to live. So then the birds and that can come out into the park and they can feed on the big trees and take them and revegetate naturally. So these are some of the other ideas. It's a big job, but we are really committed to saving Queen's Park. This is just some of the ideas that we believe really need to be instigated very, very soon. So thank you, and we'll go walking down the other end. Here with a red Kamala tree that's obviously very sick, been crossed, ready to be cut down. So what we're trying to show here is, of course we know there's plenty of these trees that are sick. And this one's going to have to be cut. She's rotting all the way up. This is an absolutely huge tree. Again, myself, I haven't seen anything like that. I'd say that's several hundred years old. The trouble is, like I say, it could be 400 years old. It doesn't matter, it's reached the edge of its life. The flood brought a lot of disease. What we're just showing here is, yes, council, we know that some of the trees are rotten. And I tell you, there's quite a lot of them looking around that are in the end. But why hasn't there been a succession planting started 20 years ago? You know, what do we just let this keep going? Why isn't there one now? Why did we have to come forward to say to do it? So sadly that old tree's going to go, and it is almost dangerous, and yeah. But what we say here is, see, here's some suckers coming out. Okay, cut that tree, leave that. And that will shoot again. You know, it's in a garden. This is one where council have started. They've done a good job in council putting these big gardens in. Some were washed away with the flood, but there needs to be a lot more work done, that's for sure. But yeah, that's exactly what's the problem down here with our old trees. So keep going. Thank you. Yeah, Queen's Park again, we're doing the walk around now. Again, we're saying, yes, council are right. This tree is full of rot. Some of the guys are just leaving the stumps here so we know that they're full of disease, and that's what we want. We just want some proof. Yes, that tree's sick. If it's got suckers, let it go. You'll see over there in the distance they've cut that fig over there. I don't know what the story was at, but you can see from here the spraying around the bottom of it again. This is the thing to me that's introducing. You're killing the microzoa in the soil. That is essential for the nutrients and that of the tree. That stuff keeps going through relentlessly in. It's in any arborist book. It will kill the microzoa that makes the tree sick. It makes it susceptible to disease. That practice has got to stop. I don't know whether you can see, we're going to walk over here now and have a quick look at this Birdy plum and this other very, very old Birdy plum only a few metres away. Let's go. Yeah, Queen's Park, we're having the walk around still, and here's one of the examples of what was normal practice. And sadly to me is, look at the roots. This is another big Birdy plum. To me, this has got to be over, I'd say, 100 years old or over. I've grown one of myself for 25 years. I know how big they grow from a seedling. That's got to be over 100 years old at least, could be 130. But look at the roots. Look where it's been sprayed again, the old Roundup or whatever, and it chopped, you know, chopped again, graze. This has been happening for decades, mind you. So it's a death of 1,000 cuts, you know. These are only fresh grazes here again, a slash or something. We've talked to them about this. We want it to stop. Throw a garden bed around this thing, you know, and protect it. These take 100 years to grow. They don't just pop up. So this is the thing, we're really passionate about stopping this practice. Let's go and have a look at this really giant other Birdy plum nearby. Yeah, here we're with this very big, very old Birdy plum, and they are a main tree down here at Queen's Park. But what we're wondering about, again, I'd calculate this thing at anything up to 300-400 years old upwards. We don't know. But what I'm trying to work out is how, this is the trouble. Look at this big gouge, that's from a machine. And there's another big hit here. That's what starts disease in these things. I don't know how you get that bloody close damaged tree. But anyway, there's other stuff there that's not looking well either. But I mean, there you are, that's 300 or 400 years old. You'll be a bit more careful. Yeah, we're here looking at some more tree damage at Queen's Park. Now this is I believe from the leaves, it's a rusty figure, looks like a Macrophylla, Ficus Macrophylla. Again, now they're a tough tree. This one might be, it's growing around another tree. I think easily over 100 years. But the trouble is, again, you'll see that all this bark's lifting in that. Now to anyone who's watching this, just remember when you're parking under trees, you're killing them. You're bringing fungus and disease. Now you can see all that coming off. There's rot down here in the roots. Now they put these gardens around, but also if you follow it out here, look at these big pieces that are being cleaved off. And if you go out to the end, it's just been smashed there. There's strikes from mowers and that. Like we say, we know there are floodwaters coming that have brought diseases, but a lot of this stuff is a combination of both. But remember, if you have got a big old tree, or you like parking under it, you can love them to death. You compact the soil, you bring in fungus and diseases on your tyres of your cars, and you give it to the tree, makes the tree sick. Next minute the tree drops a branch, next minute you want to get rid of the tree. That's how it works. And over, that's how trees die and get removed. Don't park under them, or you need to have specific parks made just away from the tree, because the roots go out to where the drip line of the canopy is. So if you're parking under it there, you're crushing the roots. Simple as that. So it's a very difficult thing. The best thing is to have smaller trees like tuckaroos and that planted. You do your groundworks and your pavering first, then you plant the tree. So that way the ground is ready. Trees don't like new construction on old roots either. They can take 5 years to die. Anyway, that's it. We'll have a look at a few other things. I don't think it's just a repeating process, same thing over and over. We might look at a big siphonton down here before we take off. Thank you. Queen's Park, and we're looking at this beautiful siphonton australis, or Ivory Wood, and it is one of the most favourite trees in the park. And a good news story, it's not too sick, and that's good. These are very slow growing trees, and that's where the canopy, maybe a bit higher, would have finished once when this was all rainforest, again remnant. And what a beauty it is. So it's got its tag there and everything, and you'll see in the background the garden stretching all the way through. That's what we want through here. We can see council been putting bark down. Hopefully that bark they put around that poison they put around those trees, maybe so they can then put bark around it. I hope so. That will be the only way that we'll be happy with what's going on with that spraying. So that's okay, but I'm yet to see it. We'd have to see bark around every tree. But with all this re-veg through here, that sort of thing we want. And you can still have your playground, still have your beautiful trees to come down and enjoy Queen's Park in Bundaberg. So that's the Ivory Wood. We'll go up and have one last look at the top road up where there's some very unusual trees up top. Mike here from Birdy Landcare at Queen's Park, and we're doing the round showing everybody about the beautiful trees, and of course humans. They're lovely creatures. This is what we just found. We're on the top road, and over here apparently someone had some, so people must know who left half a rubbish bin here. And then here we've got some unused rapid cement. So this is the sort of disrespect that people show to these beautiful natural areas. And we don't want the fines to be a few hundred, we want the fines to be a few thousand. To me, if you can do this to other people's property, if you can get your car seized for doing burnouts, well, your car should be seized for illegal dumping as far as we're concerned. This goes on plenty around here. There's lots of stuff go on. There's drug deals and everything go on down here. We know because we sit over here on our area inside the hospital and we see what's going on. And also that's why this area needs to be shut off from the public, because this is the sort of thing that goes on. If this was all barricaded off like we want, all these trees up here, all these ironbarks, these creepers, they were planted by Landcare about 25-30 years ago. But the trouble is, people have just started driving their four-wheel drives and cars in here, so it's turned into a filthy big dirt patch. As well as that, council used to keep mowing over the regrowth for the gum trees. This is also dry rainforest area. Just because it's not on the beautiful alluvial soil, there's still beautiful trees here. So we want this whole area cordoned off, parks put on that side of the road in proper designated areas. That way people can still park there and walk along, but not this constant destruction of this area. They can't even, they come in here by the dozens. This is a one-way road. All they do is they're going the wrong way. Well, I'd hate to be on a motorbike coming up the hill. And let's just see whether this car actually goes on the road or comes off. Oh, he does. There you go. That's a very rare event, because apparently even when you're in a four-wheel drive, those things are so high you've got to go around them from both sides and the same up the end. We want big boulders past there, put there to stop that sort of rot going on. And that way we'll protect this area, and then we want to re-vegetate this whole area with dry rainforest species. And that's why we want to start a Friends of Queen's Park up to do this. So if you could just go on that Landcare Bundaberg Facebook site and contact Landcare and see if you wish to join, and come down and help protect this beautiful area that is Queen's Park, Bundaberg. And bring visitors if you have people who are interested in botany. This is a very, very unique section of bushland to have so close to a city. So we're signing off today, April 13, 2016 from Queen's Park.